Today on How to Alaska, we're going to show you guys how to apply for draw permits. We're on the home page of Alaska Department of Fish and Game, and if you follow along with us, we're going to show you how to find the hunts you want to apply for and what to do if you're a resident or a non-resident if you've never done this before. The whole draw permit is very complicated, and there are a lot of rules and regulations, and so it's pretty hard if you're just getting into it to figure it out. So we're going to try and make it a little bit easier in this video. So right here I am on the Alaska Department of Fish and Game homepage, as I said, and we are going to go to, on their homepage, they have their draw information. So if you go to their homepage, you just click on that link on the front, and the draw permit application process time is from November 1st to December 15th, and so it's a short window and you have to apply a year in advance. The most important part of the drawing application process is the drawing permit hunt supplement, and I'm just going to click on that quickly. And this is something that you really need to familiarize yourself with before you apply for a hunt. And it goes through a lot of what you need to know about drawings in Alaska, and then it goes through an alphabetical order about the species that you're hunting. So there's certain draw tags for each species, and it's in alphabetical order as it goes down the list. So you have brown bear, black bear, bison, caribou, elk, goat, moose. Moose is the largest. Muskox, sheep, and emperor goose. And then it talks about how the drawing works and some of the stuff that you might have to bring in if you get that drawing. And it also goes over youth drawing hunts. And it also goes into what to do to improve your chance of winning a drawing permit, and talks about some of the other hunts. And then it gives the odds of last year of winning a draw permit for the permits that were issued last year, and it basically gives all the results of those. So if you study that, generally what you can figure is this year's permits will be similar to that of last year. So if it's a really low probability, like there's one right here that's less than 1%, you're probably not going to get that permit, but if you do, it's awesome. It's like winning the lottery. And then some of them are like 100% right here. So anyways, we'll come back to that, but we're just going to go straight into the application. So I'm just going to hit back on the back button there to draw hunting overview, and I am going to apply for my own drawing tags. So right here, you go to the Alaska Fish and Game online store, and you can do a lot of things in this store with Alaska Fish and Game, such as buy your license and stuff, but today we're going to focus on our draw permits. So I'm going to enter the store, and I'm going to enter my information, and then I'm going to click Start Shopping. So I filled out all my information, and I'm going to go to the third tab on the right, which is Hunting Draw Permits. And in this, I am going to go down and I am going to place the hunts that I decided to apply for. So anyways, I'm going to do an individual application. You can do a party application, but if you read the supplemental information on the drawing application, it talks about party application. You can apply with another person, and if you guys get it, you'd both get tags, but your odds of getting the tag are less than if you were to apply individually, each of you individually. I'm just going to apply for one hunt in one species personally. I do a lot of my hunting through Harvest Ticket, and then there's some subsistence hunts that I do. But I want to go for a sheep, and I want to do a draw hunt that I have access to, and I guess I can apply for the hunt multiple times now. I also need to place my hunting license number in. We'll have a good chance of winning one. And the third week in February, I believe, is when these will be shown. I enter my hunting license number, and I'm going to add my hunt to my cart. And then if I want, I can add other hunts to it, but I am just going to go check out. And then from there, all you need to do is proceed to checkout. I'm also going to agree to the purchasing agreement they have. I'm going to fill out my payment information. I'm going to submit payment to bank. And I'm going to print my receipt. Okay, so now I'm done ordering my draw tags, and hopefully we'll check back when they come out with the results for the drawing. So we're going to go back to the supplemental info. And this is, like I said, this is the most important part. I just want to take a couple of highlights off of this just so you'll kind of know what you're getting into before you do the permit. One thing I want to read for you guys straight off of here is all hunters, guided and unguided, are responsible for their own actions and should be knowledgeable of all requirements under Alaska hunting regulations. So guys, this is serious. That's the first thing I want to say is you need to know what's going on before you go hunting in Alaska here, because ignorance is not an excuse. And if you make a mistake and you didn't know you made a mistake and you get caught, they will throw the book at you. If you realize you made a mistake and you turn yourself in, they're a little bit more lenient, but generally there are fines and a bunch of other things that go along with it. So make sure, I can't stress enough, make sure that you are read up and have done your research before going on a guided hunt, before going on any hunt in Alaska for that matter, especially hunts that you are self-guided in. For people that are non-residents of the state of Alaska, there are a couple of hunts that you are required to either be accompanied by a guide or a second-degree kindred. And that would be like, the farthest relation away would be like a grandfather or grandson, or a brother, sister, father, mother, all that, or a step brother or sister, or your father-in-law or your mother-in-law. That's the degree of kinship. It's very close. It states it right here of what is described by that, but that'll give you a kind of an idea. And also, if you are a non-resident of Alaska and not a citizen of the United States, you must be accompanied by an Alaska licensed guide when you go hunting for any big game species. If you're a non-resident and you are a citizen of the United States, it's only for brown and grizzly bear, Dall sheep, or mountain goat. So, before you apply for your permit, when you're going through this, there are a couple things. I'm going to skip over a few things. Some of it talks about moose and some real particulars. But if you received a permit last year, you are ineligible for the same permit the following year. And you also must obtain or have applied for an Alaska big game hunting license prior to applying for a draw permit, unless you are an Alaskan resident under the age of 17 and over the age of 10. Also, non-residents who will become residents by the starting date of the hunt can apply for drawing permits under the resident hunts, but they must purchase a non-resident big game hunting license in order to apply for those hunts. Also, no person may receive more than one drawing permit per species per year, and the permits are not transferable. Another thing to keep in mind, there is no refund of application or license fees. So once you purchase this, you're basically, if your hunt gets canceled or anything, you don't get anything back. For most species of a big game animal, the cost per application is $5. But for bison and muskox, it's $10. I talked about this earlier, but a hunter can apply individually, or two hunters desiring to hunt together may also apply as a party. So this is kind of a little bit difficult to explain, but basically, if you apply with another person to hunt as a party, you apply as one person basically, and if you get that hunt, you both will get a tag. So if you were to apply separately, both of you would have more chances individually to get the tag. But if you apply as a party, you'll have the chance of one person, but you would get two tags. Another thing to note is that if you're born after January 1st, 1986 and are over 16 years old, you have to have basic hunter education that's accepted by the state of Alaska. So anyways, I scrolled down to how this random drawing works, and basically all the applications are entered in the computer database, and once they're entered, each application is checked over for 18 potential problems, and then the computer randomly assigns a number to each hunt that is eligible. So they check all the applications to make sure they're eligible, and if they're not, they just throw them out. And all the eligible applications are assigned a number, and then basically the guys with the lowest numbers are like 1, 2, 3, it'd be like first, second, third. They will go down the line. As many permits were available, they will take that number of applications. And so if you were assigned a 1 or a 2, you'd be like the first or second. So if there was 100 applications for, 100 draw permits going to be issued, if you were given a number between 1 and 100, you would be selected. Now, the party applications throws that off just a little bit again, because if they're drawn, they'll take 2, so they'll throw that number off a little bit. But if they're in that number, they'll assign them 2. So if you were at 99 tags issued and the 99th person was a party application, they would skip over you because there's only one ticket left to be given out, or the 100th, I should say. And they would skip over you and give it to the next individual who applied. So if you were at 100 and you were a party application that was applied, they'd skip over to the next individual guy. It seems unfair, but for what the party application does, it allows you to hunt with a friend and both go out and get animals. So it's really a cool deal, but it does make it a little bit harder to win a drawing. To improve your chances of winning a permit, you need to make sure you do all your applications properly. The most common error it was applying for the same hunt the person won the year before, too many hunts per species, and failure to report on a hunt the prior year. So you have a certain amount of days to fill in your hunt reports and send them in, and if you don't have them in on time for this, you're not eligible to apply for a drawing permit. Also, apply for the maximum amount of hunts you can for that species, and also apply for the less popular hunts, which you can see the results of last year, and it would be similar to the results of this year. Anyways, happy hunting. I wish you guys luck on your drawing, and we will check back and see if we won our permit here in February.
Leave us a like, leave us a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe.